Today's video, we're comparing the bodyweight handstand movements, including like dive bomber push-ups and stuff, to overhead pressing, dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, sandbag, small children, whatever you're lifting, right? You're standing upright. Now, this is an interesting comparison because these two moves, they're so different in so many ways, yet they have so many great similarities about them. In fact, I find that the functional carryover between these two is the greatest compared to any other form of bodyweight to weight training based exercises. But first, let's dive into the differences. First, the obvious stuff. One is open chain, one is closed chain. Pressing is about adjusting weight. Handstands are about adjusting technique. You have the body position. Pressing is upright. Handstands are inverted, of course. But the biggest difference that you probably want to pay attention to and base your decision on what's best for you is the range of motion consideration. Handstands, usually we just bring our head down to the floor and then we press back up. And yeah, we can lean back and we're going to our forehead or nose or chin, and that can increase the range of motion. Unless you're doing on something elevated like parallel bars or press stands, it's going to be a shorter range of motion, which isn't a bad thing at all. With pressing, you can come all the way down to your upper chest and back up. And depending on your situation with your shoulders, shoulder stability, strength, past injuries, one may be better for you than the other, depending on a number of factors. It depends on what is best for you. It's not like one is better, one is worse. And it's also important to keep in mind that things like range of motion and stuff, it's not like one is going to qualify the exercise being effective or not. And as long as there's tension in a muscle, it works to build strength and muscle. You don't even need any range of motion. You can just hold a handstand for time and still build bigger and stronger muscles that way. So whether you're using big range of motion, short range of motion, I use it just as another tool to progress or regress the intensity of the exercise. Bigger ranges, harder. Shorter ranges is easier. So you can do this with weights where you're using big range of motion with short, smaller weights, or small range of motion with bigger weights. You can also do it in the bodyweight world where you're using full body weight for a short range of motion down to a yoga block, or something like a dive bomber style push-up where you're getting a big range of motion, but it's not against your full body weight. That's the biggest consideration. Now, it's the similarity between the two that I really want to address in today's video, because both of these exercises are very skill heavy, technically involved movements. Now, handstands, it's obvious. Like if you don't have the technique where your back is tight, your core is tight, your hands are tight and stuff, you fall over. Even if you're against a wall, you're gonna lose your balance. But we miss the boat and ignore the fact that this is also the case for when we're standing upright and pushing a weight up overhead. And this is something I wish I knew a long time ago, would have avoided a lot of shoulder injuries, because both of these are full body exercises. We typically call overhead pressing like shoulder presses, and we're thinking, well, it's shoulders and triceps are somewhat involved, but it's really everything. Your core, your glutes, your quads, your entire back, everything tenses up to stabilize your body and keep things moving in a good track. Otherwise you start looking like an inverted banana when you're lifting up weights. So just like with the pull downs, use the lessons from either of these to improve each one. Use the stability and skill aspects of handstand work to improve your overhead press, and vice versa. You can mix and match too. One thing that I often do with clients is have them do some overhead presses and then hold an isometric handstand as a nice finisher at the end of the set. But you can play with both. Both of them are going to work for you. And always remember, it's what you bring to the exercise that gets you the results, not what the exercise brings to you. Questions below? Be fit, live free.